We'll start off very quickly, Sonali, with just the bank earnings and what you're looking for in terms of the capital markets business, investment banking, fees, and trading from equities and fixed income currencies and commodities.
It's a good question in this environment because obviously a lot of people have been expecting for investment banking to seriously jump back. Underwriting in particular, debt underwriting has been super hot. Equity underwriting has been coming back. M&A has still been a massive question mark. So what does that mean for the banks? Will their businesses really sustain themselves into the end of the year? We have an election cycle coming up. If anyone else has been paying attention, I think there's a lot of question around the numbers you see this current quarter, the third quarter and the second quarter, really meeting up to what you would think through the end of the year. So what they say in their calls about that growth will be important.
Absolutely. So let's bring in Katherine into this conversation, because I bring up capital markets and trading because we always kind of look at that to get a sense of the health of capital markets. But you've been covering Citadel Securities and its new strategy to shake up banks as trading desks. What's going on with Ken Griffin and Citadel Securities?
That's right. So this is not the biggest banks, the ones that we're going to be following tomorrow when they start reporting earnings. These are the smaller banks that are struggling to compete with those big players. Why are they struggling? Costs continue to rise, commissions are compressing, and so how can you compete when you can't invest in your technology and keep up? So that's where Citadel Securities is seeing an opportunity to partner with some of these banks and brokers and essentially provide the services that they've built, they're using in-house, and they find some strategies here that they're still developing in order to give those banks and brokers a boost so that they can stay in the game, and not only stay in the game, but really compete and hopefully grow market share for themselves and continue to serve their clients.
Hey, you know, what's interesting about this as well, Katherine, is this whole idea of this is all coming out at a time where the Basel III endgame rules have not been finalized, and they could include very significant restraints on the trading desks.
That's
absolutely true. This was born, right, from what I understand, out of this idea that capital requirements have been making it tough for banks to trade at length.
And Citadel is seeing that opportunity to come in and say, well, as you are dealing with these constraints, we can help and we can alleviate some of those pains elsewhere and make sure that you have further capital to have flexibility and again, stay and compete and continue to gain market share.
So that raises an interesting point. I'm glad you brought up Basel III in, because we know from Fed Chair Jay Powell that they're still working on coming up with a revised proposal there. How quickly can the Citadel Securities plan come together?
I don't think this is going to be quick by any means. This is something that is going to take a lot of time, a lot of deliberations. The conversations, they need to develop the trust with their partners. The partners need to develop the trust with Citadel.
Yeah.
And Citadel really needs to be able to demonstrate its own risk management and what that means for them in managing their own balance sheet. And those are all things that are going to need to be developed over time. It's not an easy feat.
Yeah.
So it's not something that they're going to turn the switch on and it's going to just happen in the next quarter or so. I think that this is going to be a developing story that we're going to be following over time.
There's this weird frenemy thing going on in the market with Citadel Securities and the banks too. Let's point out the elephant in the room here, because on one hand you have a Citadel Securities, and anyone at Goldman or Morgan Stanley will tell you that they've noticed Citadel Securities get bigger and bigger in the game of market making, and now they're going to the banking industry and say, hey, let us provide you a white glove service. And so it's interesting. You had mentioned this is more for small and mid-sized banks. It's worth just pointing out for a second too, I mean, how big Citadel Securities has really gotten in the world of trading and the ambitions they have to expand.
That's right. It's going beyond retail trading, which is really where they came into the prominence, the meme stock craze. Before, you would walk down the street and mention Citadel Securities. I'm not sure many people would pick up on that name. Now, it is very much in vogue.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but they're building beyond that retail presence and continuing to deepen their relationships with institutional clients, with these banks and brokers, and the buy side, some asset managers and pension funds, those investors that are looking to Citadel for their services.